There's only a few days left to draft playoff best ball teams, and Lord knows I'm going to try my best to draft every possible combination, as it always is going to be the case here. I've already got one draft going on. We're going to be kicking it off in 13 seconds. It is time, guys. Playoff best ball, drafting to win it all. I'm going to show you guys what I think are the advantages after, quite frankly, a week of obsessively drafting. And I appreciate each and every one of you hanging out here live. Yeah, Max tuning in, saying the thing that I noticed on YouTube right before starting this stream. The Swolecast is going on. They have two BBM winners on there with Pat Corain and Liam, as well as the genius of all the other guys who are regulars on the Swolecast. And yet you are here with me, watching me draft some teams. I appreciate that a bunch. So thank you for hanging out with me today, as we are about to do something. You know what? I'm going to prove a thesis that I think is correct. If you get Mahomes in the 3 spot, I think things are going to unload interestingly here. And this is going to be one thing I wasn't prepared to do today, because honestly, I walked to this draft today wanting to talk about the Jaguars. Basically, thank you, Ross. Yeah, fuck those guys. They're not here hanging out, man of the people, just drafting. Honestly, if I had one viewer here, I'd be doing the exact same thing, just drafting teams, going ape shit in the hopes that somebody will watch it later on. But yeah, that's the name of the game here. You just got to keep drafting teams. Like, this is the fun part of the year. Obviously, there's not going to be any more best ball tournaments like this moving forward. Underdog will have their wild card round. They'll have their divisional round. They'll have their conference title games. Less of a thrill for me, I would say. So I think this is probably our last hurrah for best ball until a couple weeks from now, when we get to do the NFL draft ones and have some fun doing that. The thing I was going to say, though, for today, the Jags, to me, I think, after talking through it with a guy on DM who's a newer watcher of Splash Play, which I appreciate, always glad to hear from those folks, as well as our regulars who I hold near and dear to my heart, but guys like Steven, who are ready to draft with me right now. But he was talking to me about some of his teams, and I really think I landed on something I've been working through mentally. The Jags are so undervalued in these drafts because people are going to take Austin Eckler in the 15 spot, maybe the 20 spot if he falls a little bit. But in a situation like this, I was hoping to get Travis Kelce and show another low-owned thing that can happen, but we're not going to get that here. So let's go crazy. Let's go crazy. Let's go KC Eagles. High probability Super Bowl, not a high probability advance rate team. But I wanted to try to get Kelce. I have now gotten Kelce and Mahomes together twice in the last day. I've also seen people get them in drafts with me. So for all of you guys out there, I think a comment from White Lancer, is one of the guys who usually watches after the fact and then leaves a comment, which I appreciate a bunch too. He was saying that he was like, "Oh, you got Kelce Mahomes. That's crazy." I think there's going to be a lot more of those teams than there were initially, which maybe makes it an edge to not have them, because they're both going to be on bye and you're taking them in those first 2 rounds. Who knows? Dustin, preaching to my ego right now, who wants to see 2 BBM winners. We can hang out with the future winner and People's Champion of the Mitten. I agree. And hopefully Best Ball Mania 4 is going to work out my way. I'll be the one set of entries I'll be funding for BBM 4 will be my own. All right. What else can we do here? What else can we do? I think we need to get one of these guys from these teams. I'm going to take Miles Sanders. Devonta Smith, not there. Kind of don't want to reach too much for Goddard. I think this might be a spot where it might be a Giants spot. Go NFC Giants and then try to get Daniel Jones as my wild card QB. Get a nice floor there. I feel like Giants are my fallback NFC team. Jags my fallback AFC team. And then my Seahawks are the team where you go to when you're like, well, Pete Carroll mentioned DVOA in the press conference yesterday, so that's pretty cool. So that's when I go to the Seahawks. Hard to figure out how to smartly build 4 running back teams. Keep having to remind myself to click on non-stack teams for running back. I mean, a 4 running back team is more about positionality and where you draft guys. Like, I drafted 3 running backs with Christian McCaffrey today, but you can make the case you maybe only need 2, maybe only need just Christian McCaffrey and you can get through. So I think if you're getting 4 running backs, it's like you're getting the lower tier guys. Like, you shouldn't be taking Mixon and Cook and Eckler. Like, I think that's probably a little bit of overkill. Gets you through the wild card round probably, but I don't think that's enough to win it all if you just go a little bit too heavy on running back capital. All right, let's see. What are we going to do here? I think we're going to take our last KC Philadelphia piece for now. And then I'm going to go to one of the weirdo teams and see if we can actually get a team through. Because right now, this has got to be about, and I was watching Pete draft with the Badge Bros yesterday. Good stream. If you missed that one and you're just binging best ball draft content, I would recommend those guys talking to Pete. But they were talking about where, if you get one of these alpha stacks for the buy, at that point, maybe you just take the highest projected wild card guys and hope they get through. And that was a draft style I was doing early on. And then I've kind of walked back to really being dead set on 4 from my Super Bowl team, 3 from 2 teams from the opposing conference. And that's been great. Like drafting 4-3-3s, you can get those clean every time. Might not always be the alpha stack, but you're still getting 4 good guys, usually from most teams. And then I saw Pete drafting like a maniac, and I'm like, shit, was I right in the first place that maybe you just draft one good stack and a bunch of dudes that can get you through the wild card round? I haven't fully figured out where I fall in that tree, but I have been drafting with a little more structure lately. All right. We got no more Eagles in range, so that's fine. I think here is where yeah, you know what? Let's go. Let's go off the board a little. If I can. No. Oh. Oh, that was a bad misclick, guys. That was an embarrassing misclick. All right, we're building out Cowboys. That's fine. We can build out the Cowboys. I wanted to do. Oh my god, that was incompetent. I have to admit, guys, and normally I wouldn't, because sometimes I do smoke a little weed before the shows. I might have smoked a little bit too much weed before the show, based on how that click process just went. Oh God. All right. Well, you know what? Honestly, building Dallas seems like it makes more sense given that Pollard fell. So I might have lucked into a strategy that's more plus EV, but that was definitely, I got to tell you, that was old stony weed hands here. Doing a bad job. To be clear, it doesn't mean the info is going to be any worse. It just means I might be slightly worse at clicking things. So my apologies. Thank you, Short Gamer. I'm glad to have your guys' support during these tough times. I am a cock. Thank you, Ross. I actually thought it's funny that I bring this up because yesterday earlier today, I was thinking about, maybe tomorrow for something weird, I'll just like get super baked and force myself to do a DraftKings draft on stream because it takes so much time. Like I could only do one and then that would be it for the day. And I think now I've ruined that concept by being a little too high today. So I'm glad you guys appreciate it. I'm glad that we're not all just here to see me draft like a genius, because sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you do a weed click, and then you know what? You got to dig yourself out of it. And you do that with Dak Prescott. I guess this is working out fine. I have no complaints about how this worked out. Let it be a lesson to everybody out there that sometimes there's been a lot of negative fudding of weed throughout the years. I grew up, there was a war on drugs. I remember on every arcade machine when I was a little kid. But sometimes weed could lead you to Tony Pollard and Dak Prescott when you're going to draft Daniel Jones later on. So a win is a win. Tyreek at 33 is aggro as hell. I would agree with that. I think that's I'm not like a big believer in the Dolphins without Tua. Now we know Tua's out, so you're going to really try to steam up Tyreek when you could be getting him for free all week. I don't know. That's one of those things that people I think miss sometimes. And that's part of why, again, I advocate for just trying to draft all throughout an entire, playoff best ball period, throughout an entire offseason best ball period, is because ADPs move so frequently and things and information changes and all of that. If you're drafting Tyreek now 20 spots higher than you could have gotten him 2 days ago, when there was at least a shot to have played, like that's just incorrect. It's not the way to play this stuff. Obviously the mitten 4 wasn't there then, but this guy, I don't know. It's the wrong way to draft either way. Tony Pollard, not the worst pick. Oh, Nick is here, so I can't bash Skylar Thompson too much. But yeah, when you are on your third string QB who sounds like he could be easily a TikTok starlet or a pop star of some sort, I think you're probably not going to go with that alpha receiver too many times. All right. What are we going to do? Let's take Dalton Schultz. This is just too clean. This is like worryingly clean. I didn't get a KC running back. That's the one downside. Should I take Ronald Jones for fun? No, we don't want to take Ronald Jones. I can't do that again. That man cost me enough money. Okay, Nick is in touch with reality. Nick, of course, being a big Dolphins fan, notorious fantasy, if you want to check out his channel. We're going to lose by 52, so it's okay. Just glad we made it. That's the right way to view it. I think if you're really believing that the Dolphins are going to go in and be live to win, like your hope is really that, they hang in long enough and maybe they could somehow win it by a field goal. But like if they just don't embarrass themselves and they stay competitive, I feel like that's all you can ask for your team when it's moving in the right direction. And that's me as somebody that, again, is technically a Cowboys fan, but now is completely given up on rooting for football besides for money and also for just good games. I'm wearing my Rob Lowe NFL hat. Rojo. I'm sorry. Sorry to trigger everybody by drafting Rojo. Can we grab CEH? Love him last round. I've thought about that. I just don't know how he gets back into the rotation when they barely wanted to use him while he was still healthy. But I think there's a fair 0.6 CEH in the 11th if you're building a Chiefs team. You know, the issue then is you're taking another guy in the 10th round that won't help you in the wild card round. So that's tough. I missed the initial one. Max, that's true, but the bigger prize pool makes better publicity. That is definitely true. Like Corain is apparently going to be in commercials and stuff. Like, that's pretty sick. And I think that's like people, that's an eye-catching number. You know, the issue is then like, does Underdog get hunted by everybody? Like when DraftKings was running those ads with some guy who won $1 million over and over again. And that's where, you know, you got to be like, oh, am I going to be hated by people just for appearing on TV too often? But Corain is so likable and handsome that I think he'll be okay. But anyway, big prize pools where it's at. Like, I wish that these playoff best ball drafts, even if it were the gauntlet, if it were $1 million, I'd be like, I got to max these out. At 200K, it's like, oh, this is nice, but I'm just going to kind of do them at my leisure. And it's not like not winning 200K. Like, winning 200K would be very sick. I'd be very happy with that. It would fund a lot of things that are helpful in my life. But, you know, 2 mil, 200K is a pretty big difference in terms of just the recognition. You know, Corinne is too likable, but I have to say, I did shows with that Jessie girl over at DK. I used to do the DK live shows where they like nobody watches it to sweat, but like they still keep doing it. So good for those guys. I actually like all the people there, so I shouldn't be that mean to that show. But holy shit, holy irrelevancy, Batman. And that Jessie girl, very lovely woman, like very nice to me, very kind on streams and stuff. And you watched her on commercials, and you're like, fuck, I hate her. I can't see her anymore. And I've been with people too who are bashing her, and I'm like, she's a very nice lady, but I get it. BBM4 price pool. Interesting. Okay. The thing is though, like they probably don't need to increase it. Like they should, and they probably will, but I don't think they need to. I think 2 million's a big, like that's bigger than all the milli makers. It's double the milli makers, so it kind of justifies it. Be sick if it were 5 mil though, especially because I'm gonna win it next year. So like, you know, that would align well for me. Also, I do have a very exciting announcement. That's not really an announcement because I have like nothing graphically or prepared for it. I'm like really going to do rankings for real this year. So I'm going to unveil these Spags rankings, which I'll give you guys the acronym for. But I'm very excited about the concept. And I also think this actually might be a CEH draft now that I'm looking at this board. All right. We got Philly. Let's take a. I honestly don't know what helps me right now. So I'm just going to take Clyde. Done. Ooh, got that in time. Oof. Okay. every 2-second warning is starting to get a little bit anxious on this end. Yeah, no RB before round 10. I will definitely be a little more RB open-minded next year, but you will not see me doing robust RB. Even with Corain winning with 2 early running backs, and again, this is me nickel and diming the guy that won the money. I do think that like he could have gotten away without having Saquon. Like I think he absolutely could have just gotten, you know, one of the other guys who bounced off late and been good. So I still think there's value in 0 RB. I think a hero RB or hero RB, we're taking the guy in the first round. I guess those would both still technically be hero RBs, but I feel like they should be kind of defined differently. I think that's going to be still a good format, but I think because 0 RB didn't win this year, there's probably more of an edge to going 0 RB again next year. So the Spags rankings. So what it stands for, this is what I'm really proud of, what I realized today. Again, might be weed related, might not be. It's still going to exist. The Spags rankings will be like official rankings by position and all that. And what it's going to be called is superior players in great spots. So that's what Spags stands for in that context. And basically, I'm going to identify the guys that like make sense numerically based on what I'm looking at, as well as the guys that I think team-wise make a lot of sense. So I think they'll actually be really good rankings for stuff like best ball. I'm not going to try to monetize it the same way that other people do with their rankings because I don't really care quite that much. Let's just get a running back who can get me through week 1. Let's go Mostert. I honestly don't think anything would add value to these stacks, so I just need this team to advance. Tony Pollard might not be enough, so that's why I'm taking Mostert there. There we go. There's my weed team. But I'm excited to do rankings, though, because I think, A, it's one way to keep myself accountable, but B, like, I do think I have really good access to info, and I want to try to use it better. I'm going to answer this other mitten. Probably will cap myself today at 1 hour flat, so if you want to get in a draft with me, now is the time to do it. Counting it down, as I always do. 3, 2, 1. Oh, well. I assume Mostert's going to go. I don't think Mostert sits, but I did see he was limited in practice. if it's a broken thumb, then I should have taken Jeff Wilson. And I was thinking about taking Jeff Wilson there because I think actually Stochastic has Jeff Wilson projected above Mostert anyway. If I want a big ranking, I would 100% sell my rankings because the fish will buy it. That is a fair point. I just want to do it for fun. Like I wanted to do it this year with Pete, but I kind of like didn't push the idea hard enough, and then things just kind of went as they went. Because we're all busy men. It's hard to plan things and then actually make them work. But if it's just me, like I can do rankings, and then you know what I can do? I can do rankings videos that get so many people, so many views. So I'm gonna be the rankings video king. Check out my top 5 running back rankings, and then also the video for the top 25, and then also the video for the top 50. It'll never be quite that annoying, but oh yeah. Oh, we're stealing some production from other YouTube channels. I'll tell you what. Better than being a Spags and not clicking the guys you want to draft, Max. That's it. This is a hot take. Danny Dimes is next year's Jalen Hurts. They got to spend money. I think the guy who's next year's Jalen Hurts is Justin Fields. A lot of cap money for them. They could trade the number 1 overall pick, get some good assets. I think that's the guy that you'd want to target. This is also very early in the process, but I'll tell you what, Justin Fields, really high on the Spags rankings right now. All right. Not drafted him by a team here. Let's go. I feel like I always do Bengals. Let's go NFC. How do we go NFC here and still make anything good? God, it's just like you have to go Eagles, right? With no McCaffrey. All right. I'm going to go Jamar Chase. Terrence, honestly, alarmingly not long. I was just like, what would fit here? It's weird though, like coming up with acronyms is one of my skills. Like if you gave me like any 5-letter word for the most part, I could probably come up with something passable for it. Like probably my company too, I came up with an acronym for that where it's probability ranked order by live yield, which means absolutely nothing really, but it kind of fits like because we're ranking probabilities based on the yield you would get from a sports book. But I think acronym games, boy, that's one of my skill sets there. Best ball drafts, wearing money hats, and acronym games. That's where you can find me. Misclicking things when a little too high. Also another place you can find me. Truly unique skill sets. Joel's got to take T. Higgins here, right? But he's not getting Higgins and Mixon. Yep. There you go. Oh, you think Fields cracks top 4 to 5? It just depends on how the QB ADPs work out. I know some of the guys here have been doing some of those early drafts and such. But I think that if Fields is like top 4 or 5, then yeah, maybe that does get a little tough because you can't really stack them up right. Let's see what we're going to do here. I think just take Mixon and get it out of the way. I don't want anybody else to get cute and try to get Bengals. Claypool trade is the only blemish on a flawless Bears tank. The issue is like they're going to get, I mean, not an issue, but like the way they'll make it back. I agree that was a terrible trade, but they're going to be able to kind of get their way out of it. Is when they trade that first round pick, it's probably for a future first, maybe a second too. So like teams are going to want one of these QBs more than the others. And maybe some teams will sit back and say, we'll take whoever's there. But this is not like last year's class where like it was Pickett and Pickett barely ended up making the first round. And we kind of talked ourselves into the Malik Willises and the Picketts and some other lesser guys. But like, boy, next year's like this draft is loaded, like absolutely loaded. I got to dig on the numbers more because that's one of the Excel sheets that's in my to-do list to make. But I'm going to be pulling in college numbers and trying to look at guys and figure out who stands out because a few of those I was right on a couple of years ago. Zach Wilson, though, oof. Don't trust good stats against bad teams and bad conferences. All right. On the clock again. We need some NFC stuff. We also need like our full team. This again might be a Daniel Jones spot. God, everybody early is like good players. Let's just do it early. Get off the completely off the beaten path. This is something that I normally would not do, but honestly, I don't want to take Hayden Hurst here. I'm not going to reach for Tyler Boyd. So let's just claim our Giants and maybe keep people off Saquon. Yeah. All right. Hopefully they won't draft Saquon now. I should have gone him first. You doing the FFPC contest? Watch Chip Chasing last night, mate. I don't dabble in FFPC. Like I'm very loyal to the sites I'm loyal to for reasons completely unclear. But like I play my DFS on DraftKings, I play my best ball on Underdog, and occasionally flirt with DraftKings, only to end up disappointed in the end, which is how a lot of flirting in my life has gone, I'm sure. But I think in this spot, like I just want to get my Underdog teams in and get them as good as possible. But it's also for me part of the thing too, where like I know people have won on FFPC. Like I think Drico won last year on FFPC. So like smart people have won there and done really well and all that. And like it probably be advantageous to do it. I just have like the ego of like I want to win on underdog. And that's the flaw in my DFS process. We'll see how that goes. The idea of drafting like because these are season long teams, right? Like I don't want to manage anything. It sounds like fun. Like Pete said, I should have gone last year, but it's like I don't know. I'm not a homebody, but I'm like, oh, this has gotta be worth the effort, especially with the baby now, where I have to like ask for fucking can I please go live a life, Alex? So I don't know. We'll see though. I could be talked into it. Only if we get to do the podcast on the main stage. It's my ask for anything. But it sounds like fun from what I've heard from Pete. So I mean, I'm sure honestly, if you are getting deeper into the stuff for all the people out there, like they very much recommend the FFPC stuff in August, I believe, or early September. In Vegas, people have a lot of fun doing that. A lot of good networking. I know that's been a big part of Pete building his community with the Deposit Kingdom stuff, and also just connections with people. So it's probably worth it. I'm just also like so busy with fucking football outsider shit. So that depends on if that's still part of my fall repertoire. But if you could trust anybody, you can trust Max, even though you cannot trust him with a CD because it'll be completely scratched by the end of it based on his usernames. All right, we got to get some good receivers in. I guess from AFC. So this might be this is gonna be a jag spot. This will sure be a jag spot. Might be a Tyler Boyd spot. Mm-mm. I was also thinking about making one of the bits I would do today being like drafting guys who like drafting in ways that annoyed me previously in drafts, but like it would be funny to be the guy who takes Hurts and Burrow on the turn and just see like how your team comes out. But I wouldn't want to subject you guys to that if you're trying to draft along with me live. It's funny though how often that's what we'll call the picks. The Burrow Hurts picks combined, but the Burts picks is really the brand name for it. How often those happen to people because I've actually seen some Twitter posts about it. That and the Brock Purdy sniping when another player has a good QB and then also takes Brock Purdy. I feel like are the two memes of playoff best ball that somebody's going to take Burrow and Hurts and somebody's going to snipe you on Brock Purdy for absolutely no reason. I've done it before. Eagles was not pleased. It's infuriating. It's infuriating when it happens to you. But to be the one who's the chaos maker and just see how it goes, like it absolutely makes no sense though, because you're not going to get AJ Brown. You're probably not going to get Devonta. You're not going to get Higgins. You're not going to get Chase. So like logically, it does make no sense. But maybe you could dig yourself out of that hole. Maybe they'll give you squatter rights on two of the main teams that could possibly make the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. Who knows? Always worth a shot, right? Mm-mm-mm. Should be pretty clean, I think, getting to this Jags build. So let's see. Let's just go ATN first. Because we can take either one of Kirk and Zay Jones and feel okay about it. And an Ingram will be the double stack. Maybe should have taken Lawrence, but no, he's fine. There's better QBs ahead of him. I was feeling evil that draft. I would never do it again. How many drafts do you think are going on out there at any given time where somebody's like, I just want chaos. Like I want to just I just want to wreak hell upon everybody in this room. I'm having a bad day. That's like the new wealthier version of trolling where you just go into best ball drafts and ruin somebody's time. That was why though. That's why I refuse to do a big dog draft. Like I'm not I think it's funny to be like, I saw the riffraff that won the regular season big dog and no thank you. I think that's a funny bit too. But also like I can't imagine spending $250 on this and being like, you fucking took Brock Purdy when you had Josh Allen. Are you kidding me? Like that would be absolutely enraging to me. That's like the dollar signs to me go along with the level of tilt. So I think from my perspective, I would not want to open that pressure up to myself, open up that rising blood pressure. As many drafts as there are assholes. Yeah, that's fair. And that's why there's no chat on Underdog for everybody who, who continues to think that's a good idea. All right. Still got Kirk. Now, you know what? Let's take Lawrence just to be safe. I don't want anybody getting cute. Nobody getting cute out there. I'm the only cute one here. Aw. That's gonna be my new branding because I didn't win BBM3. The cutest man in best ball. It's gonna, and I'll still lose to Karain. That's the downside. Yeah, I did take Purdy early today. I took him at like the 17 spot because I was like, I'm not getting sniped on the way back. I'll tell you what. May have to go to Underdog and play a little of this. And of course, use the promo code SPLASH while I do that. Thank you, Steven, for keeping me honest with my ad reads. Yes, if you want to play along with me, if you want to play on Underdog, and I think you should, it's a fun time here. Again, I'd be doing this if I were doing a stream or not. Use that promo code SPLASH, double your deposit up to $100. So you net yourself 40 of these mittens. Not a bad deal. You'll draft 40 teams, and then somebody out there is going to win it with one because they were in an absolute idiot room. Brock Purdy's ADP is so ridiculous for someone with a QB ceiling of 18. Took Purdy 14 and it felt disgusting. I think he's a good play. I think he's just heating up. That's how I'm talking myself into all the Brock Purdy exposure I have. In terms of like the expected value from the last pick in the NFL draft, there is no metric in which Brock Purdy has not exceeded every expectation. Like he's been better than Kenny Pickett this year. Like, you know, and Kenny Pickett, I think, is not that bad. He's going to get some shit. People think like the Steelers should move on. I don't think that's the case. Let him grow into that role a little bit. But like Purdy's been the best rookie QB, which says a lot. Says a lot. All right. And we'll get whatever bullshit Giants receivers too. Feeling good. Joel sniped him on Dak when he has Burrow. Let's see. What did Joel do? Joel has Dak. Oh, he has CD Lamb. So I think the issue is he's trying to draft with some sort of strategy. It's not a beneficial strategy for drafting in a room, and it probably is one that won't win him money. But it seems like he's drafting a strategy. He's got Chargers. He's got Bengals. He's got Cowboys. This guy's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Get out of here. I feel like the running back pigs in playoff best ball are like the uncorrelated player pigs. Those are the ones where they're just fucking ruining the drafts for everybody, scarfing them up, drafting stupidly. Joel, more like Noel. That's what I say. Oh, Dustin, you might be right. I honestly never take Richie James. It could be Richie James time. All right. Let's get Ingram first because I think he's still a risk to get scooped. And then, yeah, I've been taking Hodgins. I've been taking Slayton. I haven't been taking Richie James. So I'll put him in my queue even. I'm that confident nobody else is going to draft Richie James. Yeah, we'll hit another one when this one wraps. I got to ensure that I get Richie James. Obviously, you don't plant a flag for Richie James and not see through that you're getting the Fabergé egg. That is Richie James, the high value target, who ironically never gets a high value target. Random, my favorite week one sneaky picks is Tyler Lockett right now. Dude gets to face Demidor Lenoir and man coverage this week, and dude is dog water. Is that the guy who missed the? No, that was a Texans player. Never mind. I don't follow coverages that closely. I follow team coverages, but not player ones, just because like I think that's a little bit of a bias magnet. But I mean, I agree. Seattle's like not good. Or excuse me, not Seattle. San Francisco. Actually, no, I don't agree with any of that. I think the Niners are very good, and I think they really don't have a weakness, is what I would say instead. They can struggle against the deep ball a little bit. Like they do have a positive EPA on deep throws, but not any more than you'd expect. All right, one more mitten here. 3, 2, 1, hit it. I completely misread that one and was like, wait a minute, Tyler Lockett's not playing the Seahawks. Again, it's a weed show, guys. I don't know what to tell you. But also, it was seeing a defensive player's name like Demidor Lenoir. God, is that one of the characters in Knives Out? That's where my brain went. I'll look up the Niners D though right now because I actually think they've improved in the one area I'm thinking that they were bad at because they were bad against the deep ball for a while. Uh, find that as this draft goes, 4 pick, no issue there. All right. Yeah, the Niners' one weak spot is a deep ball, point 0.5 EPA, throws to 20 plus yards, a high completion rate. But I think that's mostly because it's desperation throws. The Niners get pressure. So, same thing we talk about with pressure generally on these shows, where it's like if a team gets pressured and the quarterback can survive the pressure, they can get the ball downfield. It's just like, can you survive the pressure? But the Niners get sacks at a high. Actually, no, their sack rate's not that good. So that's probably explains it. That's why they're bad against deep balls. I wouldn't say it's an individual defender though. Personally, I know PFF grades might go in the face of that. But I think it's always like a system thing where, if you're getting pressure, but you're not completing the sack and you're not completing a hurry, then it means that the guy can get the ball downfield. And that's where the Niners have sometimes struggled. And that's where Jarrett Stidham was good that one game too. But again, I'm not the one who knows Demedoir Lenoir. So I who am I? Who am I to say? That'd be the first time I heard the word Fabergé in a sports fantasy stream. That means something. Look, sometimes you got to pull the esoteric references out of your behind. All right. I keep getting fucked on this Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow thing. I've taken Mahomes. I've taken Hurts so many times. Let's just go Diggs. Let's go Diggs. Justin Jefferson in the 2-hole, though, is probably not a good move. Yeah. That stands out like a sore thumb. That is not a move I would want to make personally. But sometimes there's a thin line between genius and madness, I guess. Brady's stats under pressure this season. Seems like that'll be important for Monday. On the year, he gets pressured 31% of the time, sacked 6% of the time that he's pressured. The sack part's pretty bad. I don't have his QBR and stuff right now. Let me pick my player and I'll see if I can pull that up on a separate sheet. All right. Got Buffalo. I guess let's just take Gabe. And we'll get something from the NFC late. Might be another Bills Giants Super Bowl. A battle of teams with similar uniforms. That's what we're looking for. All right. Let's see Brady's stats. Brady. I got to freeze this top row. Oh, I love pulling up stats in the stream. Nothing is more uncomfortable for me than the silence that comes as I'm looking at an Excel. All right. I got it, though. So when he's pressured, he's throwing a catchable ball 58% of the time, which is basically average. He's on target 50% of the time. Let's see. He's basically league average in every stat under pressure. Like, there's nothing that stands out as particularly bad, nothing that stands out particularly good. Other than the fact that he faces pressure a good amount and only 2.3 seconds per drop back in the pocket, which is not good. Hey, I'm happy to help. I love these stats. Like I think they add a lot of value to my football knowledge. It's when you start to get too married to them, that's when you end up with the Cortland Sutton not doing anything versus Tennessee games, which will always stick with me because it was like, fuck, all the advanced analytics were saying that there's going to be a deep ball that happens here. It's not Cortland Sutton, it's then Jalen Virgil. And that's one of those lessons that I'm going to tattoo right here in my brain. That you can have these hard takes, but don't chase them too much DFS wise. It just means play Cortland Sutton in 10% of lineups and hope that he gets there. Anyway. All right, Buffalo. We can wait on Cook. Can we get a good? We can honestly get some good NFC guys still. I'm confused by this situation. I don't want to take him though. Do I? Yeah, because there's not gonna be anything else left. I'm just gonna reach for Cook. Call it a day. Not get weed clicked again. See how efficient that click was, guys? that's progress over the course of a half hour. Clicking everything right on the button. Bullseye. Everybody says when they watch me click something. Can't have a Giants Bills Super Bowl without Whitney Houston or Bill Parcells. I just feel like I associate a lot with him getting Gatorade baths in the Super Bowls. It actually might be messing up my timelines. That might be incorrect. No, that's not correct. That was when he was the Giants coach, right? It's tough. There's things like when I was a little kid are starting to get like pretty hazy in terms of the memory banks, besides the really traumatic ones like the Troy Aikman getting sacked by Lawrence Taylor thing I've mentioned a few times. All right. We got all Buffalo. I think now is when let's get Tampa Bay. We got enough Dallas to justify going Tampa Bay for once, living a little with Tampa Bay. And Bill Parcells used to wear sweaters when he was like, he's one of those guys that really did get casual as time went on, where he was wearing like those classy sweaters and stuff, then was wearing like nice shirts. And by the end, he was just dressing like Bill Belichick and completely looking bummy. I feel like he was wearing some like fucking Hawaiian shirts when he was on Miami. Bill Parcells, though, one of those guys that like if you're one of our splash play guys who are like 20 or so, you might not know Bill Parcells, which is kind of horrifying to think about. You want to feel old. People people out there actually don't remember Bill Parcells. People who are doing fantasy content right now on Twitter probably don't know Bill Parcells. I remember when he took over the Cowboys, and I was like, "This is going to be it. This is going to be what fixes us." And you know what he does? Vinny Testaverde at QB. Vinny Testaverde, Quincy Carter, Drew Henson, Drew Hutchinson. Oh my God, it's terrible. All right, Tampa Bay. Let's get our Mike Evans. Honestly, I could get the Giants too now. Fuck it, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's get the Giants and the Bucks. Max, I regretfully turned 38 in October, but arguably the most youthful 38 on the internet, I would say. When I was at Barstool, I actually grew this scruffy facial hair that I have now because people always thought I was like 30 at that point, 29, turning 30 or whatever. And people always like thought I was like 23 or 24. And I'm like, I need to earn respect by having facial hair. And since then, I just kept it. Yeah, Vinny was better for the Jets, Ross, than he was for the Cowboys. He redefined statuesque, did Vinny Testaverde, though he was a proud Italian quarterback. So like I should hold him in reverence, and yet here I am. We're just remembering the bad, remembering how useless that all was. Hey, this board's working out fine. I'm glad to see Pacheco is back to getting drafted. After yesterday and he wasn't drafted in a few of these, I felt like the Pacheco hate had gone too far. Also, you'll have to note, which I noted on the app today, these guys all have new headshots. Like even Pacheco's got a headshot now, like a big one. Like for some reason his head is larger than everybody else, but I guess it's the dreads. But love seeing new headshots. That's one of those things that like I don't know why it takes the sports data providers like a year to give them new headshots, and these guys have blank faces for the entire season. Oh, and here I'm glad to see Pacheco go. And nope, you just wanted McKinnon. Never mind. Never mind. All right, just keep taking our guys. We're gonna have clean shots at the Giants and Bucks. It looks like it's all on a spectrum, Steve. It's all on a spectrum, but I know we have some boomers who watch the shows too. Like I'm happy to I like that we can have a mix. Like at the end of the day, we're all just guys who like gambling on football in some capacity and hopefully learning more about it and learning more about the ways you win the money too and all that. So like I think that's like one of the unifying themes. Like guys do fantasy teams with their dads and shit. And I think that's very cool. I hope one day I have a fantasy team with Luca, even though I really don't want to manage it. I hope it's like a best ball team that we're doing. I hope best ball really comes into vogue with the kids because the idea of checking waivers and shit, I've not done that in a few years and really don't aspire to now. Kadarius becoming the new chief to not draft, seeing him fall a lot. I think he was a little bit overvalued anyway, and I've taken him at his price tag, so I'm not like immune to the criticism that would come to that. But I do think he's been generally just a little bit overvalued, and now he's kind of coming back to where he should be because Hardman's going to be back. Hardman takes maybe half those gadget plays off the table, and ultimately, like MVS is going to run more routes as the outside receiver unless they like completely sour on him. So that's definitely how that goes. All right, let's take Tom Brady here. And we'll get some Giants. We'll get a Corain special. Tom Brady and Daniel Jones at QB. Leave the Tua. Leave the Tua. Hey, shout out Max, like the stream. Yes, please hit that like button. I'll hit the neon flashing gift to support Max, and I appreciate that super chat a lot, my friend. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment here. These shows will go on all off season long. You'll get the proprietary Spags rankings here. I mean, can you imagine getting those for free? They've never even been available to the public before. And now you're getting them for free on this channel. Oh my God. We have a lot of fun here doing fantasy football. So if you're new, don't be afraid to check in either. I do appreciate hearing from everybody. And of course, appreciate the regulars like Max here who are willing to give me money to live the dream while I live the stream. Spags is always streaming. What? GA says these things that just come off as mean. Like, why? But yes, I'm streaming. I do content every day, my friend. The grind doesn't stop. We got almost 1,600 people now who are subscribed to this channel. You think I'm going to quit now? We're only 1/10 of a fantasy flock, which is now a numeric calculation for, for YouTube subscribers that are maybe mostly undeserved. I don't know. Sky Moore exploding in the playoffs would have to be him on a kickoff return. I think at this point, I don't think Sky's getting reps. Guys like Sky are the ones that get squeezed. And if he makes a play, it's got to be like on one catch in a game. I think Justin Watson's probably had a Sky Moore in the pecking order, to be honest. Oh, Nick's doing well. Nick's doing well in the sub numbers. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, what I know that matters according to like the YouTube optimization stuff is like your returning viewers relative to subs and all that stuff. And that's where we do well. I'm a retention guy. I'm not like a viral growth guy. That's ask my wife. Am I right, fellas? I'm a douche shower, not a grower. But no, honestly, I've been happy with the growth. Like those videos we're getting on the stats videos, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Why aren't we getting views? But we were getting views on those. So I think we've hit some notes that'll be good. And I'll keep grinding. In the day, I can just draft teams, you know? That's all I do. I just ball out here, drafting teams on Underdog. Even Tony seems like a stretch because he barely plays. They give him enough gadget work where I think like he's fine. I just think it's going to be like you're doing a dice roll in the playoffs. Like, is it going to be Tony getting the gadget run? Is it going to be Hardman getting the gadget play? But that assumes Hardman comes back. Like he did have a setback, so maybe he doesn't even get back out there. Daniel Jones, come on down. It's so nice drafting like a stress-free team. Like I don't need 2 wildcard QBs, but I like the flexibility I get here. I'm going to need one of these guys, either the Bucks QB or the Giants QB, to get me to the Super Bowl and then compete against James Cook. So we're well positioned now for both Giants and Bucks Super Bowls against the Bills. And I guess we'll close it out with Richie James. I still think Slayton's the best pick out of all of them, but I should take Richie James once. Welcome to the family. I miss welcome to the family. I'm sad we didn't do as many bits this season, but you know, what can you do? Just rested on our laurels, you know? It's like it's tough because when you do only the 1 day a week, it's like, well, if I'm hanging out with Pete, like we got to do like one bit and we got to do like our usual stuff and whatever, and also just enjoy the patter back and forth. But welcome to the family is when I still got the hat right here. Like welcome to the family is ready to go whenever. Hey, welcome to the family. Hey, welcome Tom Brady, Daniel Jones. Sure you won. I'm basically taking Pat Rain sloppy second, but welcome to the family, boys. You're in the playoff best ball family. Motto, Mamma Mia, etc. All right. One more. One more mitten here, and then we'll close it out. This is the final one. Your last chance to get in today. Counting it down. 3, 2, 1. Click, click. Click, click. Boom. Me being a gangster. Nick, you're Italian, right? I feel like you must be. Like Lepri. Nick Lepri. My own Nick Lepri. Hey, this guy, we call him the notorious fantasy in the gang, this Nick Lepri. He's a real go-getter, this kid. He's going to be go-getting the chicken cutlets parmesan, Amato. There we go. Trust me, I'm ready to do an Italian accent whenever the opportunity comes up to bring glory to our great culture. Oh, Griffin here. Griffin in the 101 Rain Man hats. Oh, it's okay. Is that a vaguely is that an autism joke? I have to ask. Like, is that where we're going? I'm confused. Italian and from New Jersey, a true soprano. There you go. Yeah, I am a mutt, though Luca is being raised like I am, mostly as an Italian person. But we are going to Puerto Rico for to celebrate my 1/8, Luca's 1/16. That'll be his first trip semi abroad, even though it is a commonwealth and part of the US, and we should treat him with respect. Former Team Fortress 2 username. Okay, good, good. I was like, is he making like a Rain Man joke? Can we do Rain Man now in 2020? Like, I can tell you what, if Dustin Hoffman tried to do like an autistic guy on a film in 2023, I think he'd have a tough time getting that one through. Um, all right, short gamer. Ball's in your court. Nick going to class. Oh, there we go. There's the youth we needed infused into this chat. Yeah, classic edge lord Griffin, huh? I never had an offensive username. My AOL or my Yahoo email was no limit C money because I being C money, of course, again, dollar signs, we got them everywhere. And then no limit because I enjoyed No Limit Records and really enjoyed what Master P represented as an entrepreneur more than as an entrepreneur and a man who dabbled in stolen valor. I really loved Master P. Italian name got bastardized at Ellis Island. It's exactly what the youth of the chat would say. These sexy teens coming to YouTube chats, they don't know what hit them. Yeah, Ellis Island. I mean, isn't that where the origin of the name like Tony came from? Or actually, no, that might just be like a joke against Italian people that I'm now realizing. They used to, I guess, make the joke that would be derogatory to our people. That like, oh, why are all the Italian guys named Tony? Because they had two NY on their like suitcases. And A, it's really inappropriate now that I'm realizing that it's in fact not the etymology of the name Tony. But B, I do remember that joke a lot as a kid when people do mean to Italians. And they get away with too much. Christopher Columbus, what happened? Oh, the genocide, Maron. See you later, my paisan Nick. Oh man, a lot of fun drafting you guys though. I appreciate it. Of course, gonna hit one more round tomorrow, and then hopefully Friday we'll have Pete back. But I haven't asked him yet because he's got babies, he's got other shit. I don't know. But hopefully have Pete back, and we'll do some actual wild card DFS for the weekend. And T Higgins politely falls back to me, and I will say thank you, Mr. T Higgins. Thank you. Oh, Mac. I mean, I said this would be the last one, but I do think Nick is requesting it. Max, you're asking. I guess the will of the people. So hit the like button. We'll do one more, but then that's really going to be it. I know I have to get off before 3:30 because that's when Corinne and Liam are going to be doing a stream, and I try to avoid other people's streams when I can. That is very kind. No better way to pass the time waiting in the pickup line at my kid's school than watching Spags draft. Thanks for the entertainment. I appreciate that, man. Dustin, that is very kind of you to say because I really do think my next phase of my content career is just going to be like targeting people who are parents, just trying to make easy content for parents to wrap their heads around and get done in time. And I think that's got a real audience out there. Short gamer took Mixon, you rascal. All right, let's start. Let's take some Niners. This might be an okay Eli Mitchell spot, actually. I have a lot of very conventional. Oh, yes. There we go. All right. Sean wants one more, sure. For the people coming after the Swolecast, who am I to not immediately bend the wills of other people? But I love these drafts. Like, doesn't take a lot to talk me into here. You're not twisting my arm very much. So I'll do one more after this. So strap in. Honestly, Griffin, I was thinking that too, but Short Gamer like is one of the regulars, and we can't always collude for me on stream. I've been lucky enough that you guys have been kind when drafting with me, allowed me to get the occasional guy here and there, but it's got to be a draft. I get it. I don't get why Short Gamer took Mixon to be clear, but I'll get him. I'll get him somehow. Eli Mitchell, last round pick, always seems good. Yeah, I agree. I think it's not a bad way to go. Like, obviously, I would be reluctant to do it if I had McCaffrey. I just think it's hard to like for both of them to get there. But yeah, I could be wrong. It's possible like this could be more of a timeshare than I'm accounting for. I just think you save McCaffrey so you have him ready to go for the most part. And if they get like big leads in the playoffs, then that probably means McCaffrey got him there. Maybe Mitchell does cleanup. So you can make the case to like draft McCaffrey and Mitchell. I just think Mitchell's more interesting is like leverage against McCaffrey somehow getting banged up or something, or those games being blowouts and it not being a McCaffrey touchdown and gets him there. I watched Kitchen masturbate over his tree when you could watch Spags draft higher than Willie Nelson. I don't know that we quite got to those levels of high, but yeah, look, I did misclick and I could absolutely attribute that to the situation more than anything. Um, Here's the thing. I choose violence. No reason to, but I do. There we go. There's the curveball. There's the drafting an unnecessary player. Nice little snipe on Brock Purdy. I don't think Jamal's in the chat. And he's got Justin Herbert, so he's fine. He's fine. He would have been doing the same thing I would have been doing. Well, I think one of us does it on a much smaller scale, but yeah, he's in great shape for an older gentleman. Who could argue? It's also funny too. Like I could see like the live views or whatever, like as the show goes on. And sometimes I'll say something and it's like, oh, the views go up 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, God, those people just walked in on me doing something absolutely fucking batshit insane. And I apologize. That's how my brain works over here. Hard time going for a 4-3-3. Okay. Oh, calling it a snipe. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Like I just think this is a different configuration of Cincinnati and San Francisco than I've had before. And I just have so much early Cincinnati as San Francisco. Like the gauntlet, they were basically going for free. So that was like my big Super Bowl bet. World leader kills people, but he is in great shape for his age. So who is to say if they're bad? Thank you, Ned. I mean, Nez, I think you are married to an influencer, from my understanding. So that's what it's all about. And nobody influences more than Vladimir Putin. I think we can all agree. I feel like I'm doing my tight five for like a MSNBC stand up comedy special. And there's anybody who knows about manipulation, it's old Vlad Putin, huh? A fucking clown. Pat Corain's doing media tours, and here I am doing MSNBC stand-up comedy jokes. All right. He does demand your attention. I don't want to be a pro Vlad Putin stream. I think that's a bad move in the current marketplace. That said, he comports himself pretty well. All right. What do we do? What do we do? I think I know what we're doing at running back late, but I need a third team now. Or do I just need like good guys? Let's just take Elijah Mitchell. We'll get that out of the way. Will we ever get a 24-hour stream from you? It's a possibility. It's never wasn't a possibility. I think the baby kind of ruined it more than anything, to be honest, last summer, because I was at near stages of death at various points from lack of sleep. Let's take, you know what? Let's just get all of our guys out of the way, and then we can worry about what's left. So here's how you get leverage when you got a weirdo Cincinnati San Francisco team. You take both the backup running backs, and then you wonder, will I get points in the wild card? I certainly hope so. Oh, yeah, it's Terrence knows. Terrence knows. Anyway, the Ukrainian president, too. We're going to just talk about this. Really, didn't look that buttoned up. Like he was like trying to keep it too chill. He's like John Fetterman, who's the guy was elected here in Pennsylvania. Like I don't know, like I got like wearing hoodies too. I'm more in basketball shorts every day. I'm doing a stream for the most part. I like being casual, but maybe put on a suit for certain occasions. You son of a bitch. Yes, short gamer. This might be a mitten winning team if I only had Joe Mixon. Putin will put draft bots in my underdog chats and drafts and cause more chaos. I mean, look, could it be possible to cause more chaos when you sometimes get in these playoff best ball drafts? I don't know. Oh, also, part of the reason I'm not playing the theme song today, we got copyright struck on yesterday's video for playing the theme on a loop. So no more loop in the splash play theme, apparently. No more. Uh, can't monetize that video now. What a bummer. Oh, he was an actual comedian? I didn't know that. All right, Ukraine, point for Ukraine. And Vlad Putin doing jokes would not go well. And here's what I imagine that would. No, I can't do a Vlad Putin accent. Mm, all right, we got two more picks. Let's just draft wild card. We'll draft guys who will help us in the wild card. I think that's the move. Sorry to anybody who wants Cowboys. Mario will be flaccid. Yes. The splash play theme, of course, the music that Mario ejaculates to, will no longer be in play. So Lamar might not play this week, huh? Like he's still not practicing. That feels very worrisome. I am still going to take. You know what? If we're just talking about advancing and around, do I think those guys are going to be better than Andrews? No, Andrews will get points. He has to finally get points, right? Like he has to get points for me here. Anyway, Cincinnati, final team. We got Burrow, Purdy, Mitchell, P. Ryan, Ezekiel Elliott, Jamar Chase, C. Higgins, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Mark Andrews. We are screwed once the Cowboys get eliminated at running back, but there's hope. There's hope. Oh, Lamar ain't playing. Line moved to 8. That's crazy. I don't think he could possibly be that hurt. I think he's protecting the contract, to be honest, which I felt like he was playing like that all year long. Anyway, we said one more draft. Let's do that. Load up the mitten 4, 3, 2, 1. But I think Lamar is like holding back right now to just to protect himself heading into the offseason, which I get, but that's a long time for like a strained PCL or whatever it was. It's me, Mario. There we go. I didn't say the words, Steven. Hopefully everybody who wanted to get in this one did. Max got in. Hopefully you guys did too. Short Gamer's here to take any picks I want. That's the positive. No, should be a good group here for one more draft. And again, I'll hit these around the same time tomorrow. There's a meeting I might have to do at 2, but I'll probably still do this at 2. Or I'll just do it at 4:20, right? No. Sorry, Nick. Nick missed it. You know what, Nick? Your youthful exuberance was a big addition to YouTube chat either way, so I appreciate you trying, friend. And I hope the class is a good one that you got coming up next. Please tell us all about it. Share your notes. All right, I think I'm going to try again to get, well, should I spoil it? See if I can get Mahomes Kelsey here. Oh, we need to loop that noise. I wish we had a soundboard of all. I wish that Pete and I had done a better job curating splash play bits over the years, which is mostly on me because that was probably my job more so. McCaffrey's here. Let's take a good Niners team. Okay, whew. All right, this time we can make it for that last round. I'm telling you though, man, I am such a McCaffrey pig. Oh my God, call me Olivia Culpo because I'm swallowing up all the McCaffrey I can get. Corp Finance. Okay, so Nick's going to be owning us all in a few years. Take care of that work, Nick. Appreciate you, bud. School is very important, guys. That's the other thing. Oh, the box coming in. Sorry, I'm just going deep-throating Christian McCaffrey at every draft, guys. I can't help myself. You seen that headshot? My Lord. Guy's a GQ model. I'll never forgive him, though, for what he did to USC in college. Like, that much. He will forever be on my shit list. Oh, wow. We're making connections here? Honestly, I would like us all to win money or whatever. It's great to see you guys winning. A lot of people did great during best ball season and were sent really nice messages about it too. Getting somebody hired for a real job through Splash Play would be the greatest gift of all. Getting college kids jobs is always my main goal for my fantasy football content. a good point. When you get hired, nobody cares about what you do in college. I also like I loved USC. Part of me wishes was like, just why didn't you just go to a state school? You could have had like fucking tens of thousands of dollars that were in savings or invested in something, and I probably would have spent it on something stupid anyway. So college it is. Fuck, I could have gotten man. I didn't think I would get Mahomes and Kelsey, but I got McCaffrey and Kelsey. Let's do it. Chiefs Niners time. We're doing good teams. I like this guy's username being Grumpy Simon. I hope that he just like lives his life being Grumpy Simon. Like, oh, Simon, you seem so downtrodden. Oh, he's taking Niners now out of spite. What a grumpy Simon. Oh, I'm Grumpy Simon. Okay, wow. If you live in LA and want a job at Baker Tilly, send your resume. We need auditors, tax people. So all the Splash Play job listings are popping off right now. Great community. You come here to learn fantasy football, you leave with a quality accounting job. It's just like we've always wanted. Bet he takes Kittle here. Fucking grumpy ass Simon. Grumpy Simon can't help himself, can he? Oh, that lovable grumpy Simon. I'm so mad at grumpy Simon. Oh, good. All the accountants are here. Love the accountants. I always knew that accountants were my people. I always knew. I've always had like close friends that are lawyers, and I feel like lawyers, accountants, that's always pretty thin margin between those personality types. Accountants also know how to have some fun. I feel like historically, at least from what I know, living in New York and seeing those guys going out in various parts of town. Griffin's a resident audio engineer. Okay, so we got diversity here. Good audio engineering is very impressive. My co-founder on the thing I'm working on, probably, who's one of my best friends from high school, is also an audio engineer who briefly had a rap career under the name Shaded Prophet. So I know the hard work that it takes to do audio engineering, and like he's got one of his rooms set up to be like a studio. So, diversity. We can't all be accountants. Some people have to do audio engineering, and some people have to rap, and some people have to build me products, build me quality betting products. Hey, Grumpy Simon would absolutely snipe me on Brock Purdy here, but he's not going to get to. Fucking Grumpy Simon. Not going to get me, Grump. He absolutely, though, was tilted by not getting Kelsey. Which, do you need another Niners player? All right. Grumpy Simon is now our enemy. How do we fuck with this guy? Let's see what he does with his next pick. Because right now he's got nothing good. Granted, I will have no receivers to pair with Brock Purdy. So there's a lot of casualties on both sides of this war with Grumpy Simon. Oh, good. Okay. He finally got somebody to stack up KC. Good for him. All right. Grumpy's. Yeah, I could probably get the IRS on him with all the accountants here. This Grumpy Simon character seems like he's due for an audit. All right. How do I dig out of this hole? I think with the Giants. Because this Niners portion of things is dead. The Niners wouldn't face the Giants till the NFC title game, I believe. Yeah, because they would go to Philly. So I think I think this is the way to do it. But my Niners stack is completely blown up now because of my feud with Grumpy Simon. Cue up Jennings ain't doing nothing, Gerardo. I don't believe Jennings has any upside anymore with Debo back. I won't take the consolation prize. I'd rather have Daniel Jones and his friends. What a clusterfuck, though. This is a chaotic team. Do not like. Vote no on Grumpy Simon this November. All right. Grumpy Simon, he's got his Chiefs, he's got his Niners, he's got no running backs. So he probably wants a running back from the Niners. Do I blow up my own team to hurt this guy? I think we both know the answer to that. I think that's what spite drafting is, guys. Grumpy Simon made an enemy today, and I made an enemy in Grumpy Simon. And he'll have none of that Chiefs backfield. No, sir. It's rare that you see the birth of an arch villain on a stream, yet here's Grumpy Simon coming at me. Little does he know. Ooh, I'm gonna grump him real good. I'm gonna grump his rump. That Grumpy Simon guy sounds like he's honestly probably a big flocker. He's got the flock logo tattooed. He's got whatever that fucking JPEG bird restaurant logo tattooed on his shoulder. Sorry, Terrence. Sorry to let you down. Occasionally, he's got to eat a draft here. And honestly, like, I've got Travis Kelce, I've got Christian McCaffrey, I've got Saquon Barkley, I've got Jerick McKinnon. I've got good parts here. I just need to get an actual NFC team who could make the Super Bowl now. Because I don't think stacking up Brock Purdy with nothing is going to be the most helpful. He took Eli Mitchell. Oh, well. All right. What do we do? We need some guys to get us through the bye week. We need a lot of receivers at this point. I actually might take Seattle too. Let's do that way. All right. Metcalf. Okay. Fear the Feathers saying I'm Grumpy Simon and was pissed about you taking Kelsey, so said F it. All right. If you are Grumpy Simon, then that's legit. Grumpy Simon is Putin's underdog account. I guess I did talk a little fast and loose about the Russian bots. Fair enough, Grumpy Simon. These are the only the kind of moments you get on these streams, guys. Grumpy Simon, let's call it truce. We've ruined both of our teams. I hope you didn't want a Kansas City running back. It is funny. Like, I don't really, obviously I know the parts of the underdog community. Like, I see the Bad Bros chat. I see this chat. I see Pete's chat. Like, how many people are on just like drafting underdog and they're like, oh, if there's a stream live, I just have to put it on in case I'm in that room. Like, funny subculture that I'm just not aware of. But glad to see Grumpy Simon here. At the end of the day, if we can make one Simon less grumpy, then we've had a good day. What a stream today. Pete has a video up about this team. I'm not sure what bit you're referencing, but I'm sure somebody enjoyed that. Jonathan saying, crying emoji. I'm on the clock here, so I have to make a pick of my shitty players here. Let's just do Lockett. So here's the genius of this play now that Grumpy Simon's made me rethink my entire process. We're game stacking the wild card game between the Niners and the Seahawks because it's going to be a shootout. And then after there, we'll min cash. And that'll be the end of this one. I think I'll take some Giants next. Gonna be thin. Go Hawks. The 12s are gonna be out for me on Saturday. Things are looking up for Grumpy Simon. You got Justin Herbert this late. Not too bad. Even a Grumpy Simon could smile getting Justin Herbert in the 8th round. I just love the name so much because it sounds like a children's book character. Like, we have a bit in this house where we go like Grumpy Gus, and it's like, oh, don't be a Grumpy Gus, because I don't know why. That's what happens when you're a parent, I think. Either way, though, Grumpy Simon right there in that wheelhouse of sounding like an adorable children's book character that you can monetize to the gills. You get a show on YouTube, you get a show on Apple TV. So the Grumpy brand, a lot of opportunity there. Yes, for anybody heading out like Nick here who's got to go to their corporate finance classes, appreciate you hanging out. This will be the last draft today, so watch the exciting conclusion. Let's see what Grumpy Simon's final pick is. Actually, I'm curious if you guys want to vote at the end. Whose team is better, mine or Grumpy Simon's, relative to what we did in this situation? Hello, DX Filer. Deluxe Filer. All right, this is where I'm going Slayton. We need just pure upside to get through the wild card. And then let the chips fall where they may. All right, Max, your team. Max's team. I'll look at it at the end. We'll review the teams real fast and we'll hop off. And then I'll give you guys a chance to vote Grumpy Simon's team or mine first. I guess I can just do that. No, I can't do that until this guy picks. Come on, Chesley. Chesley sounds like an insult that Jerky Boys would have had. Again, another boomer-ass reference. No, DX Filer, sorry. I'm calling it early today just for the sake of getting out of the way for Liam and Patch stream. Because I care. I try to be nice to the community and people putting their asses in the content. All right, Mitten 4. All right. Okay, my team is, in fact, Brock Purdy, Daniel Jones, Christian McCaffrey, Jerick McKinnon, Saquon Barkley, Isaiah Pacheco, Travis Kelce, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Darius Slayton. That's my team. Grumpy Simon's team. Vote 1 for me, vote 2 for Grumpy Simon. Grumpy Simon's team, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Juju, Kadarius Toney, Mike Williams, Josh Palmer. Shit. I think it might be 2. I think 2 might. But either way, you've heard the teams. Make your pick in the chat. Oh, tough, Alice. I'll look at Max's team in the meantime. Jalen Hurts, Trevor Lawrence, Miles Sanders, James Cook, Travis Etienne, Diggs, Davis, Goddard, Kirk, Ingram. That is a nice team. I like that team, Max. You've drafted a team that's a lot like ones I've drafted. This looks very similar to the one I just drafted, in fact. But I think it's a really good team. Smart way to use the Jags. Jags undervalued. Buffalo also, I think a good 3-man stack here feels pretty good. Here we go. 2 with a bullet. 2. 2. You win this round, Grumpy. Oh, hold on. You win this round, Grumpy Simon, but I swear I'll avenge myself, you grump. All right. That's... If you've enjoyed this content, please... make sure to subscribe down below, hit the like button, leave a comment. I'll be back tomorrow around this very same time doing more drafts. If you couldn't get in with me today, try to get in there. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow this show at Splash Play Pod. And I appreciate each and every one of you hanging out with me, even as Grumpy Simon kicked my dick in there in our war in that last draft. But I appreciate you all. Hope you have a great day. And I will see you guys soon. Good luck.